Hi, welcome to Miss Music. This channel is really about looking at music that may have passed you by, things that are great that you just may not have discovered. And if you have any suggestions, if there are any bands you love or any albums you love that you think they just didn't get the kind of recognition they deserved, let me know in the comments. So on this video, I'm going to be looking at Daniel Johnston. Now, Daniel Johnston was probably every alternative musician's favorite alternative musician, and my feeling is that his music is not known very widely, and that's partly to do with the fact that some of the albums are quite difficult to listen to because they're not recorded in kind of super produced ways. Often it's Daniel Johnston just singing into a cassette recorder, and that's the recording you hear on the album. But that makes them special, I think. The album I'm going to cover is called 1990. It is considered one of Daniel Johnston's most difficult albums to listen to. And this is partly due to the fact that it was never completely finished in the way that it was supposed to be finished. It was meant to be a studio album recorded in New York. But if you know a bit about Daniel Johnston, he had quite severe mental health issues, and his mental health broke down in quite a radical way during the recording of this album, to the extent that he was arrested during this recording. He was committed briefly during the recording. He went missing. Nobody could find him. So it became a difficult piece of work. Although 1990 is difficult to listen to, it contains some of his most well-known songs. And one of the things that surprised me when I was going back to this album, I hadn't listened to it for a long time, is just how many of these songs have been covered by numerous bands. So in this video, I'll give you 3 reasons why I think you should give 1990 a chance. So one of the things I love about Daniel Johnston is that the music has a kind of naivety to it. And by that I mean that there's no affectation to any of his songs. There's just a simple truth in the lyrics. And you don't get the feeling that Johnston has spent hours agonizing over the best word or the best rhyme. It's just the words that come directly from him. Some people have called his music childlike, and I can see why, but I think it's childlike in the sense that there's no filter. He's not worried about what you and I or critics are going to think of his song. And I think this comes across in the first track, and this is called Held a Hand.
Oh my Lord, I am so bored. Held the hand of Satan. To you, held the hand of the devil. I was on MTV. Everybody was looking at me.
Across Johnston's albums, there are many Beatles covers, and I think you can hear in that last track the Beatles' influence in the phrasing of the piano. Reason number 2 to listen to Daniel Johnston is some of his songs can be quite amusing. Some of them are very much tied into his mental health issues and feelings of divinity and evil and Satan and angels and God. But there are some touchingly romantic songs. He often sings about yearning, the yearning of love, and love that never happened. It's always kind of a deep love for a girl from afar that he never realizes. This track, Something Lasts a Long Time, has been covered by many bands, and there's a really brilliant version of this track by Beach House. So have a listen to Daniel Johnson's version and then check out the Beach House version if you can find it.
Your picture is still on my wall, on my wall. The colors are bright, bright as ever. The red is strong, the blue is pure. Something lasts a long time. Something lasts a long time. Your picture is still on my wall, on my wall. I think about you often, often. I won't forget the things we did. Something lasts a long time. Something lasts a long time. It's funny, but it's true. And it's true, but it's not funny. Time comes and goes on all the while. I still think of you. Something lasts a long time.
So reason number 3 is this lo-fi element. There was a time, I think at the end of the 80s, beginning of the 90s, when there were a few groups making these kind of home recordings. They weren't just using a cassette recorder where you press play and record and then you just give it all you've got. And Daniel Johnston was doing that, and that's evident in a lot of his albums, this kind of lo-fi quality to his work. So on 1990, there are some tracks that I think were never meant to be on the album, and they do have this kind of lo-fi quality to them. Some of them were recorded live, but again, not professionally. So take a listen to Funeral Home. Funeral Home gives you a kind of idea of what you can expect to find on quite a few of Johnston's albums. But saying that, there are some which are studio albums that are much more polished.
Funeral home, funeral home. Going to that funeral home. Got me a coffin, shiny and black. I'm going to that funeral and I'm never coming back. Funeral home, funeral home. Going to home. Got me a coffin, shiny and black. I'm going to the funeral and I'm never coming back. Everybody. Funeral home, funeral home. Going to the funeral home. Got me a coffin, shiny and black. I'm going to the funeral and I'm never coming back. One more time,
No, I can't do it.
Funeral home, funeral home.
You know the words.
Going to that funeral home. Got me a coffin, shiny and black. I'm going to the funeral and I'm never coming back. One more time, with feeling. Everybody, it's going to happen. You know it's going to happen. It happens every day. Billions and billions of people have already died. You too will die. Sing along with us, will you? Funeral home, funeral home, louder. Going to that funeral home. Got me a coffin, shiny and black. I'm going to the funeral and I'm never coming back. Got me a coffin, shiny and black. I'm going to the funeral and I'm never coming back. Funeral home, funeral home.
Yeah. All right.
It's really worth giving Daniel Johnston a try. And if you're in a band, if you're into music and you've never heard of him, I think there are sources of inspiration to be had from his music. It reminds me a little bit of Syd Barrett and Syd Barrett's kind of way of approaching music. Thanks for listening. If you like the channel, please do subscribe.